Ground Radio. New voices amplified.
Kuti iende atimboda iye ground yakaipa mazviziva anzi ndiyo inongotora mikombe yose saka musarwadziwa pull up aineti kudzokorora iye ground Zimbabwe. Yeah, big up plot Makoeno is popped in the ad boy.
Hello, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to Ground New Voices Amplified. Welcome to the platform that brings you some of the amazing artists from Zimbabwe and also those that are living and working in the diaspora. And today we have an artist who hails from Matebeleland, but she's doing some major global things. And I'm talking about Joy. Welcome to Ground.
Hi, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let's take you back a bit. You grew up in Philabus, confirm?
No, I grew up in Bulawayo.
Oh, in Bulawayo. Philabus,
Yes.
This is where you went for your school.
No, I went to Philabusi for a project.
It was a project.
And I chose it because I have some relatives from Philabusi, and when I was in high school, my friend and I went to Philabusi, and then we got attached to the school because we were just doing this project that was very, very cool, and we saw how passionate they were. And so when I was in uni and doing this project, I decided to go to Philabusi and initiate it there.
Great. We'll get more detail into that project and the award that you won in 2016. But I'll take you back to your childhood as a kid. What was your upbringing, your background like?
So I grew up in Bulawayo. The second.
Which neighborhood was that?
Pumula South.
Pumula South.
Yeah, I'm the second born in a family of 3 kids. So like the middle child. Yeah. And yeah, I grew up with my mom and my siblings, and I went to school. Like I changed schools multiple times. My first school was Malindela, which was in Pumula North, and then my family and I moved to Pumula South, and then I went to Dumezweni Primary School, and that was like for my grade 2 and grade 3, and then I went to Ngwalo Primary School for grade 3 and grade 4. And then I eventually transferred to Robert Treadgold, where I did like grade 5 till 7. So I finished high school, and then I finished primary, and then I went to high school at Sizane, which is in Pelandaba, and that's still in Bulawayo. So I did 6 years there, from secondary to OA and A levels, and yeah, that's just it. And then after that, I graduated high school, and then I went to do 1 year of law school at the University of Zimbabwe. Like a lot of people don't know this, but I spent 2 semesters before I got accepted to a school in the US. And then I left law school, and then I went to the US to pursue my international studies degree.
Wow, that's quite interesting there. But before you left Zimbabwe, you had already started some initiative, and this initiative brought so much limelight to your name. You started running an initiative, an educational project, as well as one that empowered young girls and gave young girls access to sanitary pads.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a bit about that initiative?
Okay, so what inspired the initiative is that when I was in high school, my friend and I, so my friend Stele Sile is the one that introduced me to the project that they were doing with her, a company that she was working for, and then they had engaged Philabosi as one of the spots that they were going to do that project at. And then this one day she decided that, can you just go with me to Philabosi? We made the trip from Bulawayo to Philabosi. That's just about 2 hours. We went there, we spoke with the officials, we spoke with the kids, and we're really inspired by, their passion and the drive that they had. And so when I went to the US and I got the opportunity to like I was constantly looking for opportunities to engage my community in one way or the other. And there was this competition that came up. It's called the Davis Projects for Peace Prize. It's an award which is given to like outstanding students in the US with like good project ideas. So I thought, let me just give it a shot and apply for this program. And I was just like giving it a shot because at that time I was a first year, and history had it that it had only been awarded to like seniors and stuff. So I was like, yeah, let me just, apply for this. I got the project award. And my project was to create like a girl empowerment initiative, empowers women, and we were mostly focusing on sanitary wear provision. We're focusing on mentoring the girls and also helping them to create income generating initiatives so that once the project is done, there's something that sustains them in our absence. And what made me choose specifically like sanitary wear is, like sanitation issues, like sanitary wear issues are issues that are not really spoken about openly. Girl, like I grew up.
Yeah, it's still like taboo, and
It's like a taboo. And also sanitary wear is very expensive. So like I also went through processes and periods in time when I was like, okay, I can't afford this, right? And I know I'm from Bulawayo, which is in the city, and having faced those problems and knowing that my friends also face those problems enlightened me on the lack of like the lack of initiatives to address that particular aspect in our lives as women. And then I know for sure it's definitely something that's amplified for people that are living in rural areas, because there are so many things that they have to buy. Like if you have money, the first thing that you think of is not buying sanitary. You have to buy other things. So that really made like personal experience inspired me to do a project along those lines. And yeah, like we ran it in 2016. I was a first year and I had to manage a huge budget. And then so it was really challenging, but it was rewarding. I learned a lot about budgeting money, working with teams, and learning not to micromanage, learning to delegate tasks and responsibilities to other people. And I made some lifelong friendships. I have like great friends that I met through that project, and we were able to do it again in 2017 in 2 different schools. So we didn't only engage Philadelphia, but we engaged like other schools, Skies of Good Hope and Nobata. Those are how I.
Wow. And if you look back at the impact that you made through the project, what sort of feeling does it give you?
I am fulfilled by the opportunity to engage the females and to share part of my story. Like I come from a humble background myself. So it was more than just sharing about like providing them a sanitary wear and giving them hope, but I was also like in a way a story myself. Like my journey, it's like I grew up in the dusty streets of Pumla South, and then I've managed to, make it to like to work for like a Wall Street firm and all that. So I just wanted to tell them that it's possible, because the reason why I was able to be very, intentional about my academics is because some people came to my school and they showed me that, regardless of where you're coming from, you can get where you want to. So I think that was the most important thing for me, telling my story, making sure that I spread awareness and I inspire other people to do the same. So, and also I really appreciated that the project gave me an opportunity to engage with a team and then start dialogue around issues of sanitary wear and, something that is considered a taboo, like you were saying, because even when we were executing the project, we could see like some sense of stereotype, like people were uncomfortable. But after that, we opened up, an opportunity, and I'm sure that people's mindsets were changed after that.
Wow, great. That is quite moving, very encouraging there.
Yeah.
And you're not stopping at that, after accomplishing your academics, moving to the States, and then from the States to UK, but still connected to your homeland, doing initiatives there. But now you are charting another territory, another path, you're going musical. Is this something that you always wanted to do, music?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do music for the longest time. So the first time I was introduced to music was when I was in primary school, in grade 5. I remember because my aunt was a teacher there. And then there was a song that we were supposed to perform. It was like for like a cleanup campaign. And then they gave me the lead. And then I sang so beautifully. And then she went home and told my mom that your daughter can sing. At that time, I was very shy. I really didn't want anyone to know that I can do this. And my family didn't even know up until I was in like grade 5, grade 6. And so I started singing a lot at church, and high school was an opportunity for me to actually explore music more. I was the lead in the school choir for like 4 to 5 years, and I'd always like be that person who does solos, and that boosted my confidence really, and inspired me to do more. And after like graduating high school, I got some ample time. You know that time when you're waiting for your results, and then
Yes.
that between graduating high school and also starting uni, that's the time that I engaged with people like Skyva,
Yes.
who's a prominent DJ and producer in Bulawayo, and we started doing a lot of projects. Some were trial and error, and some projects ended up airing. We did Shingirira. A lot of people received it positively. It was also received positively in South Africa, and people started making some iterations of Shingirira. We have a deep house track by Neo Spinworks, which is really cool.
Dope.
People actually love it so much. So I think that's when I started to say, okay, apart from being in a cappella groups, small groups with friends and singing at church and in the community, I can also explore this on a professional level. So yeah, I did a lot of like dance music at that time.
Wow, quite impressive, a resume. And it seems like you have lived like 2 different lives.
I know.
Like 3, 4.
I do a lot of things.
From dropping out the law school, getting into international studies,
Yeah.
getting into humanitarian work, education, and now music, and still being able to balance these things. Where do you find the time?
It's crazy, right? I don't sleep. If you ask my friends, they'll tell you that, like, a lot of people are always like, what time do you sleep? What time do you sleep? I really do not sleep. I get on average maybe 3-4 hours of sleep per day. That's on average. Some days are better. I have like some days where I have like 8 hours, and I'm like, oh, really? And usually when I sleep for like 8 hours, I wake up and I'm like, oh, did this happen? I'm tired because my body's not really used to that. But yeah, it's a lot of like balancing your time. Like for the most part these days, work does take a lot of my time, because I start work, ideally we're supposed to start from 7, we're supposed to end at 7, but the hours, that's like 12 hours straight, but the hours end up like extending depending on what kind of projects you're working on. And if you have like longer projects, obviously you're not going to make sure that you stick by the stipulated 12 hours, even though you're expected to, if you have something that you still need to work on, you have to
be able to do it.
Right. And so yeah, like I really have to sacrifice the number of hours that I sleep. And especially now with music, having worked on music and still working on music projects, they're also taking a bunch of my time. But because I love music so much, like when I'm exhausted from work, and then I take like maybe 10 minutes and I start doing things that are related to the music business, I feel invigorated for some reason. And yeah, I end up having to force myself to go to sleep, because I'm like, I get this energy from just doing music work.
Wow, great. Currently, you're working on something. You're about to release a new project.
Yeah.
And tell us about this project. What are we expecting? What is it that you've been working on? I think you mentioned that you've got a single and then followed up by an EP, if I'm correct.
Okay, yeah. So I'm really passionate about this project. Dedicated so much of my time. So when I got a break, when I was transitioning from the US to the UK, I got to, I realized that I was going to have ample time to actually work on things that I really love, because I was going to be at home, and it's easier because at home, like, there's access to studio and it's not as expensive. In the US, you have to like spend a lot per hour to actually
imagine.
So I'd recently linked up with Murphy Cubic, one of the most.
He's a brilliant artist. He's a brilliant producer as well.
I think people should definitely look out for Murphy, because he's going to penetrate spaces that have never been penetrated.
He's amazing. There's a song that he did with MJ Singh. I always struggle to recall how to say the name, but it's a beautiful song.
Which one is it? Caro?
No,
Okay.
Uh,
Because MJ has a whole EP that he did with Murphy as well. So it's a lot of projects.
But
But
on that one, Murphy also provided some vocals as well.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to ask.
I'll pick the song and then I'll let you know what's the name of the song.
Okay.
It's a beautiful track.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you were talking of this project that you were working with Murphy Cubic.
Yeah, so while I was at home, I realized that, you know what, I have this time, like about a month and maybe more, to be at home. And I'd always wanted to do like a project. And there were a lot of things that were happening personally that had affected me. And I thought that with music and it's therapeutic, it'll be great to express my emotions through music. And so Murphy and I, we stayed together, rented out a house, and we stayed together. We converted one of the bedrooms into like a studio, and then we started working and working and working. And the energy was so great, you know, and we're able to explore different sounds. He's a very experimental guy. So I can't really say my project really has this genre. Like I can't say, okay, it's R&B, because in as much as it may have some excerpts from R&B, it has auras from other genres as well. So it's like a very dynamic work of art. But yeah, we do have like a little bit of like hip hop vibes, a little bit of neo soul, which is mixed with electro, and then we do have some reggae undertones on some songs. So really, it's just like a fusion of what we thought sounded best together at that time. And in terms of theme, it explores the theme of love, and it expresses that love in different ways. So it's just like a combination of a lot of things, but it's just love songs expressed in different tones and sounds.
Wow. And any features, any collaboration
Yeah.
project that you're expecting from the project?
Yeah, like I have some very cool features, and for the purposes of it being still a surprise,
yes,
I have to maintain that, withhold that information. But I'm very much excited about it. This is one of the things that I've been like there are certain things that I'm super passionate about, and when I'm working on a project and something that excites me at a time, I end up like putting so much work into it. And this is one of those things that has made me feel great and challenged me in so many ways, because this is also the first time that I'm working on a project as the creative director of the Wall project, right? So I have to learn the behind the scenes, like, okay, if you want to make music, like it's not about going to studio and creating a beat, and there's a whole business side of things that really is a lot of work. So I'm going through that process of learning and being challenged by what it means to bring forth a project of this size. And yeah, like you're saying, it's an album, but we're going to roll out singles first. So maybe one single, and then roll out another single, and then drop the rest of the work.
Okay. Any videos?
Yes, exciting visuals. Very exciting visuals, very creative. Like I said, like we were stretching ourselves in a very unreal way, and everything about it, from the beat creation to even the sound of like the lyrics, and up until like even the visuals as well. It's just a lot of like creativity that's going on. And I was fortunate to work with people that are very lovely individuals, and I think it's like a blessed project, because from working with Murphy on like the songs, and I was working with MJ too. We're staying together. Like we had a great time camping at the same place, away from everybody, and just there for the purposes of creating. So it was really great. And up until the visuals as well, which I managed to also do with like a team of creative individuals.
Okay, nice. The song that I wanted to mention then is Daliwami. Murphy Cubic MJ sings.
Is it the
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes. It's a
okay.
beautiful song. I like it.
It's a good song. It's a good love song. It's like a song that you use when you're trying to woo a lady. And MJ is very good with that. He's such a guru when it comes to love songs and way that he writes. It's beautiful.
Yeah. In our conversation earlier yesterday, you spoke a lot about, you made reference quite a lot of times, but Awa. Is she one of the people that inspired you or inspire you?
Who?
Our Q.
Our Q. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. She just dropped a banging track, Nyegebang Mele. It's on repeat on my Spotify. I know that next year when we do the 2021 Spotify Wrapped, it's going to be one of the songs that's going to pop. Yeah, she's very inspirational. She has a very strong story. She's that one person that has always been a constant reminder that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And I started talking and we became friends in 2014. And we actually became friends via one of my friends called MacArthur, because I was looking for a vocalist, right? And then MacArthur was like, MacArthur is a guy that I went to school with, a very good friend of mine as well. He was like, I know a vocalist, blah, blah. And at that time, I'd never been in a professional studio. And then he added me to a group with all these Malawi creators. And Awa and I became friends from then. And yeah, really have been inspired by her growth and seeing her perform in like super dope spaces like the Commonwealth Games, and her go to, like, I think there was a point which was on BBC and she did a documentary that was super dope. She has been that person that constantly reminds me that I can definitely do whatever I want to do. My number one hype person.
She is, because this is how I got to know of you. She posted about you, and then I was like, oh, let me look her up.
Wow.
So she's actually a good plug, and
yeah, I
a
actually
good sister looks up.
Friends that that plug us in this and that are really fans of the work that we do. She's just a person that she's more than a friend, but she's like a sister too, because when I'm like really down, or when there's something that's bothering me and I want to give up, and that has been a lot when it comes to music. There's sometimes when you're so frustrated because things are not going your way, I always go to her, and she's that constant reminder that you know what, you need to relax. And she has been through it, right? She's been in the game longer, and she's worked with a lot of people, faced all sorts of challenges. So she's that person who always is like, you know what, this is how you deal with this. This is how you keep it pushing.
Wow, great. Awesome. Wow, thank you so much. It's been great speaking to you, and definitely look forward to catching up when the album drops or the videos drop. And I wanted to ask, where do you see yourself in the next few years, maybe 4, 5, 6 years?
I see myself as an international superstar. I'll say penetrating every single space in the world. That's where I see myself. I think, yeah, my friends have started calling me Joy Worldwide because of the crazy thing
The
that
global vision,
in different parts of the world. Like, you can never be like, hey, where are you? And hope that I'm in the space where I was when we last spoke. Like, I've done a lot of travel and I've engaged with a lot of people. And I'm really grateful for that. And now it is my prayer and hope that as I take my music out, it will be able to reach people in different parts of the world. That's another reason why I made sure that I recorded the album in a universal language. Like, love is a universal language, and also spoken in mostly different parts of the world. So I did not want to make it like a sound that can only be associated with a certain region. So I wanted to expand it so that that way I get to send the message across. So I see myself as, hopefully things are going to go as I planned. And definitely there's a lot of work that I need to do. But I definitely want to be in places where, people wouldn't even think it's possible to be, especially if it comes from where I come from. So yeah, winning a Grammy, collaborating with Frank Ocean, collaborating with Masego, those people that I really look up to when it comes to music. So yeah, that's it.
Wow, great. I definitely see that coming, looking at your determination and the way that you've managed to drive yourself from Pumula, from school to the law school, and everything that you've desired to do. You've simply gone for those goals, and I wish you all the best. But it would be sad if we end the conversation without even getting a 30 seconds. 30, I know you're not prepared for this. I always want to prepare my guests, but at times I'm like, you know what? I think artists, even in their sleep, they should be singing.
Off the top of their head. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You want to snip it?
Yeah, just 30 seconds.
Which one I should tease? Maybe I can tease something from my upcoming album, right?
Okay, cool. Right.
Okay, it's gonna be so weird without like sound or whatever. I don't even have an instrumental for it, so I'm just gonna go a cappella.
Acapella. No, acapella is good.
You're gonna have to close your eyes though.
Okay. Cool. I'll shut my eyes.
I'm just kidding. Okay. Because the song is called Roses. It's one of my favorite tracks. I can't wait to drop it. It's a love song, obviously. It's a song that talks about how, you know, someone is disappointed when things don't go the way that they expect. So it goes like, the sun has gone down, a winter during summer, and the roses wilt away. I promise I did water them, and the roses are flowers. I did water a garden, and the roses, I did water a garden, and the roses, the roses.
Wow.
Din din.
Wow, you know what? For the past few, days, hours, people have been talking about the MTV Africa Music Awards, and they've been saying, where is Zimbabwe? There's only Shasha there. But I think I can safely say, in the next round, definitely we have the next candidate for
those posters, and I was like, man, you know, it like dreams are for free, and I can only dream, like I can dream, right? And free to dream. No one like can say, okay, I'm charging you to dream like this, whatever. But it is my dream to also be in one of those spaces, and of course, it involves a lot of work. It involves a lot of networking and also putting yourself out. But I really like do really appreciate the people that have been able to get into those spaces and congratulate them from the bottom of my heart. And you know, they are like an indication, especially with Shasha having won like a BET award and now being a nominee for like such a huge platform. It's proving that it's like really possible, and I can't wait till we get to a space where we have multiple artists from Zimbabwe as well, like in getting that recognition.
Well, I see that happening, especially with the effort that you are making and more artists are making, and we definitely expect Zimbabwean artists to be making it on such platforms. We had Blessing Mishtapi, you know, winning the UK The Voice UK. So I think we're not too far from the tree.
Taking Zimbabwe to the world.
True. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate. I've been speaking there to Joy RUKANZAKANZA. I got that right?
Right. Yeah, it's just long, right? It's so easy. It's like once you get it, you can never like, you know, struggle with it. It rhymes too. It rhymes.
Yeah, it rhymes. I hope to hear it in some of your bars if you speak some.
Hopefully, yeah.
Great. Wow, thank you so much to everybody who's been watching. It's been awesome. It's been great. I was speaking there to Joy. She's an amazing artist, but she also has a very beautiful, interesting story. I think it's a story that every young girl needs to hear and every young boy needs to hear to get motivated, that as long as you believe in something, as long as you've got a passion for something, you can actually make it in the world. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from, your background, you can always defy these odds and make it to the global stage. So until next time, stay tuned to Ekran New Voice Amplified. Remember, 18th of December, we've got the biggest show, Japresa Winkedy, happening at HICC. And this is a litmus test for the virtual pay-per-view option, because artists cannot continue performing for free. We have to start giving them more than likes and love, and give them, you know, livelihood through supporting, buying their music, streaming their music. And before we go, where do people access you? How do they access your music?
So my music, as soon as it drops, is going to be available on like all digital platforms. I'm talking Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify. And currently I do have some tracks on Spotify and Apple Music, tracks that I've done with Skyva. So I have a lot of tracks that I've done with Skyva, and I think like 3 of them are on there, and I have another track that I did last year with Denny D. It's called Raindrops. It's on Spotify as well. So yeah, Spotify and then Apple Music, and then also Amazon. It's available on Amazon for purchase as well.
Yeah, great. Wow, thank you so much. I'm out. It's been awesome. It's been great. Until next time, stay tuned.